I just want to give so much value that I go into ultra teaching mode. Obviously, sales always suffer when you do that, and you think you're giving more value, and then people, they're just like, oh man, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, you teach the what, not the how. The thing that is stopping most of them is start. I know that. I know what's stopping you. I know your credit is stopping you. I learned about credit after I ruined it. That's most of the people I grew up with and who I know. I know starting is holding you back because you never seen anyone start. You never seen successful businesses ran. You never looked under the hood of a business. So I know kind of what we need. So I talk to...
What's up, well builders? Today, we're going to talk about throwing events profitably and making money online. This man has made millions doing things like webinars, challenges, live events, hybrid events, you name it. He has done it, and I want to learn what he knows. I got Neo Davis. What's up?
My God, man. Thank you for having me on here, bro. First, I got to say the studio is fire, bro. I said, I gotta step my studio up. It's fire, bro.
There we go. Yeah, you're hopefully inspired.
Oh, I'm inspired for sure. Yeah. I only like to be in rooms where I'm inspired though. Like if I'm not in a room that I'm learning or getting better, I don't want to go in a room and be like, oh, you're a big dog. I'm out of that room.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, that makes a lot of sense since we're talking about events.
Yeah. 100%.
Being in the right rooms.
100%. It's everything.
So tell me a little bit about your career with throwing events so people have some context.
Yeah, so I mean, if we really want to go back far, so I've been doing events now for over 12 plus years. And the biggest mistake in throwing events was I had no guidance, no coaching, no mentorship with throwing events. So back in Philly, I used to have all these free networking events. And I was event after event after event. And I started to build a name for myself in Philadelphia as the networking guy, always just connecting people. Fast forward to me having event after event. I had a gentleman, I met E.T., Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. And I was going to do my very first event and I've never sold a ticket. And I was scared out of everything. $100 tickets, bro. I've never sold, I'm scared crazy. The venue only hold like 250 people. We filled it up in the first 2-3 days.
Wow.
So that was my first introduction to events. I didn't know about making an offer at an event. I didn't know about no upsells. I didn't know about no I knew nothing about any of that. So fast forward, I had this guy, one of the things that we do, we own, our form of real estate is event spaces. We find buildings, not of this size, but normally anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 square feet, and we rent them to others for baby showers, book signings, seminars, repasses. It's my favorite form of real estate. People are paying $1,000 to $5,000 to use your venue for 4 to 6 hours.
I've seen like people do that with photography and stuff.
Yeah, same
so
thing.
You're doing that?
Yeah, I've owned spaces now for over 7 years, so I've been doing that forever, and
So you're buying commercial, and then you're just like kind of theming it out a little bit?
Theming it out. And not even that. We're showing people, most people aren't in position to buy it. You need 20 to 30% down. Credit isn't normally the most desirable. So when I got in the game over 7 years ago, I didn't have 20% down to buy the building I was in, nor did I have the credit in place. So you're able to lease it.
Yep.
And the reason why I love that concept, my first building we got, overhead was $1,800 a month. We're charging at that venue now is $1,000 per event for the very minimum. So you do 2 events, you got your money back. And most people are doing 2-3 events per weekend, not including your weekly events during the weekdays, not including monthly events, not including contracts. So for example, we used to get churches that rent our location Sunday. That one location, I had a church every Sunday from 8 a.m. to 12. They paid $1,000. I had another church in there from 5 to 8, and they paid $1,500. So one location for 2 years straight, we made $2,500. My overhead was $19. Every other thing I had after that was pure profit.
Was it $2,500 per month or per week?
No, I was making that per month.
Yeah.
But my overhead, my rent was $1,400.
The churches covered everything for you.
Everything else was profit. And the reason why I fell in love with this is because my first rodeo at real estate, I got burnt 2-3 times with tenants. So I'm like, dog. And I was only getting $750 a month, and I had that's 30 days. I'm like, wait, somebody gonna give me $500 to $1,000 for 6 hours? They don't get the key to my location now. So that's a whole nother story. So that's kind of how I got into the event space game, because I got burnt with real estate. But while being in the event space game, I had a guy hit me up like, yo, bro, I want to use your venue. And, I wanted to charge him, but it was like a mentor friend. I ended up finally letting him do it. I went to the venue the day he was doing it. He had this whole presentation. At the end, he said, you guys can join my program. It's $50 a month. First 30 days is free. I'm like, wait, hold on. You charging people $50 a month for this program? I've been doing this free event thing for the last several years. Everything free. I'm making all these connections. Ryan, meet this person. You meet this person. All free. And I never made anything. So that was my first bite where I'm like, oh, I really can get paid. And ever since then, I've been down a rabbit hole. Now we just do, we spent millions doing events and we made millions and millions and millions doing events. So now I'm here. That's all we do is live events. But we're more focused on virtual events because there's minimum overhead. Well, less overhead.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got your start doing these, physical location type events where you're just renting out your office space, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You still do that today?
Still do it today. We got 3 of them. So
wow.
Still to this day, we do it, yeah.
And are most of them like actual like events where like seats and everything, or are most of them?
So we show you how to find one where, just say your studio. Imagine that area where you got tables and chairs. We move everything out and just let somebody use. We like to give you a blank canvas because you may want to do a football party. You may want to do a bridal shower. You may want to do a baby shower. You may want to do a gender reveal, a wedding. So we let you come in there and create it how you want.
Yeah.
So we like to get that 2,000 to 5,000 square feet, come decorate it how you choose to decorate it.
Got it.
So that's how we do it. One of ours is 2,000 square feet, 2,400, One of them is 1,500. And then our last one was actually one we acquired. It's the house version of it where we do events out of there.
Got it. So, you go from like these live events where you're charging people to, you're like a landlord for events.
That's exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize, hey, I should be throwing my own events.
100%.
Where, and you kind of were already because you were doing the free events.
Yeah. I just didn't know you're supposed to make an offer. The biggest mistake that most people make in events is you have no offer at the end.
Yeah.
You just doing the event just to do the event and thinking that the front end, you know how much, you and I, we spend money on advertising.
Yep.
The profits is getting ate up by ticket sales. Like you have to have an offer to make it make sense now.
Yeah, the ticket sales just cover the marketing.
That's it.
Yeah.
And most people just don't know that. But also most people aren't doing events of, you doing an event every quarter for 1,000, 2,000 people. That's a different level of event that you're doing. Most people doing 20 people, 50 people. So they're not thinking, I'm going to make all my money by charging a $50 ticket and I'm not going to sell anything else. And they don't actually realize that you're doing a disservice to your client because you're not helping them reach another level of transformation outside of this event once it's over with.
Yeah. You can get hyped up at an event. You can learn some things, even if it's the best event ever. It's like you still got to go home to real life
100%
after that and like what happens next.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go from this model to then actually, building another business. So what was like your first business that you were actually, selling things at?
So as far as events?
Yeah.
So we went, it's so crap, bro. I had so many hustles trying to figure stuff out.
Okay, tell me the hustles first that didn't work out that you tried.
So it wasn't like I had real businesses that the biggest key, Ryan, I tell people, bro, mentorship is key because, and I use this analogy. It's funny. We're here with Russell Brunson. He had me speak at his conference twice. The only person that spoke at his conference twice live, right? And him and I started at the same time. I always say this, but he had a mentor. He had a coach. He had somebody telling him, you should look at online businesses. You should look at online marketing. You should look into funnels. You should look into webinar. My very first business was a fruit truck. Literally, bro, I'm selling fresh fruit and vegetables. Every day I wake up at 5 a.m., I go drive to the fruit market. I go buy me a box of apples, a box of pears, a box of bananas. Come back.
You did bring a banana here.
Brought a banana here, right? I come back, bag all of it up, and we're selling dollar bags of fruit on the side of a road. And I did that for like 3 years straight. My best day I've ever made profit was maybe like $30 to $50. But I didn't have no one to tell me otherwise, right? Because I used to take my grandma to go get fresh fruit and vegetable. I'm like, this is a way I can start making money.
Yeah.
And I started that. And then from there, I went into junk removal business. And then I went to cleaning company, then junk removal, then moving. When I stumbled.
What made you go into those?
I went into cleaning. So now I had the darn, I had the
tenant situation.
Yeah, no, that too. But I had the fruit truck.
Yeah.
So I had to get an accountant.
Uh-huh.
So I had an accountant. He said, yo, you also do cleaning, right? I said, yeah. Never cleaned nothing in my life. The next day, he sent me down to a gym to go look at a gym. They said, hey, they want to give you $800 a month. You just come clean this gym 3 days a week. I said, bet. Biggest contract I ever had in my life at that time.
Yeah.
I went down there to start cleaning the gym. Then I started doing gyms. Guess what? One of my clients said, you do junk removal too, right? You get rid of stuff. I said, yeah, I do junk removal. I never done junk removal.
You sell fruit. You must, get rid of stuff.
Get rid of stuff. So, and I just went down a rap. Literally, I tell people mostly everything that I've done has been someone who said, hey, you should look into this. Or that I saw and I say, yo, I'm going to go do this. And then I just go deeper in a rabbit hole. So how I really got in the main industry of what we're doing now with the coaching, consulting, and live events is we started by seeing him doing it. He said, hey, you could start doing this. I built my whole online community up to 1,000.
This is Russell?
No, his name was Kendall. This is 7, 8, maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
He showed me that event at my venue.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. He showed me, and mind you, the reason why I got into the event space, the reason why I got into the event space business, because I kept getting burnt with the regular properties. And guess what? Since I constantly kept throwing events, your biggest expense to throw an event is normally the venue.
Yeah.
So somebody said, yo, why don't you get your own venue?
Yep.
So after working a year at this gentleman's venue, his name's Carl, was like a father to me because he let me have a free event at his spot. I brought a couple hundred people to his particular location. After a year of that, somebody said, you ever thought about getting your own spot? I said, no, but I just worked with him for a year straight. I learned the whole business. And then I got in there. And that was my first start of becoming financially free, where I was starting to make $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month off of a venue when I had no overhead. I had the $1,900 a month. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then when I got into the digital game, I'm like, wow again. And I've been down a rabbit hole ever since. I haven't stopped.
So this guy rented your space. You saw him make offer. You're like, all right, this is interesting.
Yep.
And then you said you and Russell started around the same time.
When I say Russell, meaning I didn't know Russell, but Russell been doing internet marketing probably 15 years.
Yeah.
I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years, but my first 7 years was a fruit truck, was junk removal, was cleaning company. It was unscalable businesses.
It was just manual labor.
Yeah. Like, bro, I used to work junk removal, bro. I will work 12 hours a day. I will walk in the house after I pay. You got to pay the truck. People don't count. You got to pay the truck.
Yep.
That needs gas. I'm paying my 3 workers.
You got to pay to dump the stuff.
You got to pay to dump. I'm walking in the house with $100, 200 some days at best, but I'm physically you're done for. Like, and I did that for years straight until my body just was beaten to exhaustion.
Were you married at this time?
No, I wasn't married. She was my girlfriend though.
Okay.
So she was still working at the job. My last job, I feel like we've been jumping all over in this thing. It's like my story. But my last job was at the private airport. That was my 10th job I got fired at. My favorite quote, once your mind is expanded to a new concept or idea, it's hard to go back to its original way of thinking. Every single day I saw millionaires and billionaires get off of these planes. I knew someday I would be successful. But I ended up getting fired. And that's where I actually met my wife at that job. So she was helping me financially. She giving me money, helping me because
like, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
fired.
it. Yeah, you're fired.
You can't even do this.
Yep. And in that moment, I said, I'm never going back, and I haven't been back. 16
That was
years.
what led you down to the entrepreneurial path.
Yeah.
So, tell me about. I guess from there, you get through all the, let's just call them manual labor, dead end ventures.
Yep.
And I think we all start there, by the way.
100%.
For me, I got started flipping couches.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier, and it's like that was manual. I'd be on Craigslist. I'd go drive, pick up. Now, I think mine was a little smarter than yours because I only worked like 4 hours a day.
See?
and I was
You had
making
a coach who put you on to this?
no one.
You just thought about it. Yeah.
I just looked at the couch that I just bought, and I was like, I bet you I could flip that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was making, $200 a day flipping couches, but a lot less manual.
Yeah. See, I didn't know. I thought manual, everybody always preach work hard. So I'm like, bet I'm going to work. My body can't work anymore because I had no one telling me otherwise. So it's like when I'm talking to young people and I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to sell you nothing, but you need to go learn from somebody who's already been through the thing you're looking to go through. I was talking to a guy the other day. He said, yo, I'm about to start my mobile mechanic business. I got to buy this machine to help me take out engines. I said, bro, don't do that. Like, I need you to learn something around online marketing, something around sales, something on the internet. You're trying to buy a machine. You pulling up to somebody's crib, taking the engine out, man. Like, you pulling up to somebody's crib doing bricks. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's impossible for you to scale that as a one man show.
Yeah.
Your income is immediately putting a cap on your income.
And that's what I learned with flipping couches. I was like, dude, I can only do so many of these
in a day.
And it's done.
Yeah. You run out of inventory or my body just is torn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you met this guy and then what happened after that?
So when I met the guy, that's when I went down learning the continuity model. I got 1,000 people in our online membership, and it was $27 a month, $47, I think $99. And I just went and stuck with that for several years. And then I just started having more events. How'd you
get them in this continuity model? I mean, because you're making 50, 100 grand a month.
No, I was more like 10 to 30,000 a month because I had a lot of people on the 27. It was a hybrid between 27, 47, and 100. And they also, the start of it was a free trial. So churn is at 50%. A lot of people are leaving out. And the other thing, again, that's why I tell people to figure it out. I didn't know about funnels. I was on ClickFunnels or something like that, but I didn't understand upsells, downsells. So I had my average order value was the same. I had no customer ascension model. It was just once you get in here, you pay this monthly.
Hopefully you stay.
Yeah, hopefully you stay. And I never make nothing else. It's not coming, hear about this affiliate offer, hear about this, hear about this other way to work with us. It was just that for a couple years like that.
Yeah.
So my years of just not knowing it hurts me when I just sit back and think. And when you and I talked on the phone recently, I'm like, one of my biggest mistakes was not sticking with the continuity. I wish I stuck with that. I'll probably have 10,000 people and something like that if I would have stuck with it before, Hermosi made continuity super cool again. But I'm like, I was doing that like whenever I started because that's all I'd known. And I wish I would have stuck because I love the community so much because you can continue to add value to them. And you also can continue to sell new products to them. And you are also building a rapport and a trust like no other versus you buying a one-off product.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I did that, and then I started having yearly conferences. That's when I booked ET. After that, the next year I booked Inky Johnson. After that, I had another conference. So I just started having conference after conference.
Well, let's talk about that. So like the continuity model, what were you selling? What did they get?
So it was man, it's so long. It was called Circle of Greatness Academy. We had a 27, a 47, and a 99. The 99 had more access to me at the time. It came, you wouldn't believe, it came with like quarterly events. Bro, it came with quarterly events. It came with a weekly calls. I'm talking about it's equivalent. My $100 a month then was equivalent when I had my $55,000 mastermind. Other than of course, we went to Dubai with like our crap is on steroids now, but it's the same. It was the same exact framework, but I didn't know that you can get more. Yeah. So that's why it was 99, 47, and 27. So it was weekly calls, monthly events, the normal
just teaching people
stuff.
how to make money,
showing them how to network. We're bringing in different people to teach different things.
Got it.
Stuff like that.
So you then start throwing these big events. How much do these events cost you to throw? And
so I wouldn't even say they weren't big. Like that event that we threw at ET, my very first one, I think was like 27,000 and we made like 40 something. I was like, I'm rich. That was my first one. I'm like, It was like 15,000.
Was all of it ticket sales, basically?
All ticket sales, because I didn't know you supposed to make an offer.
Yeah.
No one ever tells you you're supposed to make an offer.
Were you just offering your
what's the offer?
Were you just offering your continuity?
I wasn't offering anything. Come in here, talk, rah, rah, rah. Thanks, guys, for coming. Have a good day.
Okay.
And I did that for years because I didn't know you were supposed to make an offer.
Okay.
And then I think I went to one of the ClickFunnels, and Russell, this when I got deeper, he was like, yo, do a webinar every single week till you make $1 million.
What year was this, you think?
2018, I think.
Okay, I got a funny story to tell you.
Okay.
Because I only been to one Funnel Hacking Live. It was in 2018.
Okay.
In Orlando.
Well, that's the one.
Yeah, I know.
And he said that. I did that the next year. I got that ClickFunnels award. I went home and
you cranked webinars
for a year straight. No, 2 years straight. And I just got very good. Like, so many people, they like, yo, you're so good at speaking. And they think you could just hire a coach. And they don't really know. Bro, I actually did a webinar for 2 years straight saying the same exact thing. I got to know what to say. I got to know how to say the oohs and the ahs. I got to know what's going to make you pull out your credit. Like, I practiced the craft for 2 years straight for 3 hours every single week. So what they didn't, what a lot of people see now, they're like, yo, you do sales at these events. People pay you all this money to come speak. Yo, I practiced for so long that no one knew.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So I went down a webinar rabbit hole, and then I eventually went into the bigger live events where I had a Circle CEO conference where we did our first one. And this is where I learned about offers. I had my very first Circle CEO conference where I came together with like 4 of my brothers. We probably had like 3,000 people there. I've never saw this done ever. I made a $35K offer from the stage. Never saw it done.
Yeah.
Bro, we sold like 100 and something people came up.
Wow.
I didn't have all the fulfillment right, so we lost half of them. Because again, I tell people all the time, like, and it's just me being transparent. Like, you will never be good at the first time you do something.
Yeah.
For me, and I've never done anything great the first time where it's just exceptional. I made so many mistakes where I go fix it. Yeah. I ended up fixing it, but that's where I really learned, like, I will never do an event without making an offer ever again.
Yeah.
And then that's when I went into more virtual events. That's when I went into challenges. That's when I went in. Now I partner with, I got over 7, 8 different partners where we run their entire ops and their entire back end doing virtual and live events.
Yeah.
And the premise is serve this customer at the highest level and continue to make offers.
So let's talk about the webinars.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Because obviously that played a huge role into learning to pitch on stage.
100%.
Speaking well.
Yeah.
And I tell people this all the time too. Like, I actually never did the webinar route. I hated them. But I remember, so that's what I was going to bring up. So 2018, I see Brunson. 2018 is my first full year in business.
Yeah.
Because I was playing baseball the whole time. Yeah. So I was just hustling on the side.
You did a lot in 6 years, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, you went crazy.
Yeah. So, I was just playing baseball for 8 years, grinding it out, making no money.
Yeah.
And then I start flipping houses on the side, making money. I'm like, dang, this business thing is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then I get done playing. This is the end of 2017. I'm like, well, dude, I have nothing but time now.
Yeah.
I spent my whole life doing this other thing. Yeah. I'm going to get an office. Yeah. I'm going to do this legit. And I'm like, what do you do when you're trying to be legit? And I'm like, I think I should probably go learn and get a mentor. Because I never had a mentor.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
who put the idea of a mentor in your head though? I never even.
I started listening to just podcasts and other things like Bigger Pockets and everything. I was like, okay, I really need to get some help because I was already successful. Yeah. But I'm like, I need to get to the next level. So I get invited to GrowthCon. It was here in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay, and I see this guy.
There. Is that the shooting year or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Remember that? Heard about that year?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. This was 2018 Mandalay Bay.
Okay.
And everyone, it was all these guys. So. I see Russell Brunson. I see Ty Lopez.
So I met one of my great friends. Yeah.
Ed Milet. All these guys. I literally had no idea who anyone was. I'm like, who are all these guys? Why does everybody think they're the biggest? Everybody's going nuts over these guys. I couldn't understand it because I came from the sports world. And I'm like, are these guys famous? I don't get it. The only guy I had known was Cardone.
Yeah.
And, obviously now most of them are my friends.
Yeah.
But Brunson was the first guy I ever bought anything from. because he just made this crazy pitch.
Yeah,
and he was like, bro, you guys can just do webinars, make money, sell what you know. And I was like, well, dude, I flipped 100 houses. Like, I know a lot about flipping houses.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, dude, you need to do this and that. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm buying, but I'm going to buy it. And so I bought his thing. Then I bought another thing. And then with it came like a ticket to Funnel Hacking Live. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Funnel Hacking Live. So I go to Orlando, and he basically says the same thing that you said of like, yo, just do webinars, master it, all this stuff. So I do a webinar. Nobody shows up because I didn't have a following. I didn't run traffic. I didn't understand that part.
Yep.
And I don't sell anything. Okay. I made a course. I did all the stuff he told me to do. Not really, but I did part of it. And then I was like, all right, well, you know what? We're just going to put it evergreen webinar and we'll just run ads to it. And then let's see if it's supposed to print money. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
And it did not print money. I sold one course my first year in the education business. This is 2018.
I'm happy you didn't quit.
So, I did quit kinda. Okay. So 2018, because I made $2 million that year flipping houses.
Yeah. Like, why would I do this education thing?
Yeah, so I was like, this is stupid. I'm not going to do this. So anyways, I kind of gave up. The end of the year, I do an event. I'm like, you know what? I got so many people that do actually want to learn from me. Let me throw a one-day event. So I held a one-day event at my office, $3,000, 10 people. So it made $30,000.
Yep.
No offer.
Yep.
Just, hey, hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yep. 100%.
It's great.
I've been there. Yeah.
But it was like pure profit. There was nothing else to it.
Yeah.
And, next year, I don't sell any courses again. I still got it. I made it, but nothing really happens. And then the end of the year, I'm like, dude, I should try throwing that event thing again. So I throw another event, 10 people, $5,000 a pop.
Yeah. Number keep going up.
I'm like, all right, that was cool. And then 2020, I get on YouTube and TikTok, and that's what
blew it up.
Forced me into coaching because then it was just so much demand and traffic. And I learned, I was like, oh, you know what? This funnel thing might work if you have traffic.
Yep.
But that was kind of my journey. So I never practiced webinars in the way that you're talking about. But what I did practice was making videos nonstop for content.
Yeah.
And so I learned to speak.
That was your webinar for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I filmed thousands of TikToks, thousands of videos. And I was just like, whatever, right? So I learned to speak that way.
Yeah. It's funny you say it. So it's funny we used to, this thing they call growth partners now, right? I'm like, well, I've been doing that a long time. Like I've been doing growth operating. One of my partners, we used to do something called a real estate ride along. They come spend $2,000-3,000.
Yep.
And we just take you to all of his properties. And
we do that too.
Yeah. We put a bus with 40 people in there, and we used to just do that, but no offer at the end. But I'm like, yo, we just made 30 or 50K in the weekend. I'm like, yo, but I say all that to say, it's so many opportunities out there but there's still things that we just don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what I started with him like that. I saw what he was doing. People got to start looking for opportunities. He used to do a ride along. It was $250.
Yeah.
He would get 3 people. He'll put them in his car. I'm like, yo, bro, would you be open to me selling that thing for you if I could help you make more money? Picked up the call. The very first one I sold myself was $1,000. He said, bro, I got 500 for you. We're partners now.
Yeah.
Literally. And we've done probably hundreds and hundreds of people on that ride along, all from me seeing that he was doing 3 people in the car. I'm like, it's the same amount of work. Why don't we just put them on a bus, put 20 to 50 and could make a better experience? We put them on a Sprinter. They getting lunch. They're getting dinner. They're getting a workbook.
Yep.
And it's just, I'm always looking for opportunities.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people they don't be looking for opportunities. And when an opportunity comes, normally they're in their head about all the particulars. I just figure out I start it and then figure it out.
Yeah.
I think if more people adopt that.
Well, you're open-minded and you're just looking. You're like, hey, what's he doing well? What are they?
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, the thing I'm doing is the best.
Yeah. I was at Russell's thing. What's the number one thing working for you right now? I want to hear about it. You know what I mean?
Asking everyone.
Yeah, what's working? So I might could go implement that or hear what I need to do with that. So
yeah. So you do all these webinars. How at that time?
Yeah.
How did you get people to attend them? Because that was my big problem.
Yeah. So it's funny. So what I was doing, we for years were never good at traffic, meaning we were never good with Facebook ads. Like that was the thing that most people were doing, and we could never crack them. So we had to learn and understand the social media game, from putting up posts to going live. You know, Instagram continues to evolve. It didn't have stories, it didn't have all these things. But our main thing that we used to do, and this is what people call now, I've been doing this over 7, 8 years, or we've been doing it a long time. Wait, it's 2024. I think I won that ClickFunnels Award in 2019. So I mean, I did that webinar all of 2018 or 17 or something like that. But more of it is we were doing theme pages. So I'm paying the Shade Room at the time $1,500 a post. I'm paying these smaller pages $15 a post, $20 a post, $30 a post. And literally, here's my post. Man retires mom and wife with their own business. Headline, and then a picture of me, my mom, and my wife. Entrepreneur goes from broke and poor to being able to start his own event space. And we literally would just flood the internet. We're running every single week webinar on a Sunday. We're doing 3 to 5 posts per page on 20 different pages. And we were just getting all of our registrants that way. Shade Room, I remember one time paid them their $1,500. We put up this post. We made like $75,000, I think, on that webinar that weekend. Like it was like, I'm like, all off of a meme, like creating. Yeah. Like we're creating the narrative essentially. So that's honestly how we was getting all of our traffic. We were just beating these theme pages up crazy. And the thing most people don't know, they're actually still effective. I still run them to this day. Wow. And the reason why I like a theme page so much is, and it's funny, secretly I own multiple theme pages too. I forgot about that. But one of the things that we do, the reason why I love the theme page, when you're running the ad and they just see Ryan, they just see me on there, they're like, you're scrolling through Instagram, you just see this random ad that you didn't really ask for. You I pay Facebook. Like, you got to try to stop somebody in their tracks. Yeah. The reason why I love the theme page so much, and the reason why it outperformed, because it's coming from a place of trust. You trust the Shade Room. You trust Hollywood Unlocked. You trust Recession Freedom. You trust Page Black Wealth. So now when they're posting this up, it's looking like good news everybody who's doing these theme pages, they put their own story out. This blog didn't sit here and craft this great story about you. You crafted it yourself. But the civilian, you don't know that. So you're like, oh my gosh, they're lit. And we literally have created memes that have went viral where we got clients going from 10K followers to 60,000 followers off of one meme post that now everybody is picking up. So I'll give you another one. As of 3 weeks ago, I'm on Instagram scrolling. Post says, lady about to have to close her business in Philly because of no sales. I didn't even think, bro, it was that she paid for the post. Guess what I did, Ryan, when I saw it? I'm in Atlanta. I mobilized 20 people in Philly. Yo, guys, look, I just saw this Instagram post. I don't know this lady from a can of paint. She's about to go out of business. I called my mom. I need you to go down there and spend $1,000. We're going to help this lady. Call Runway. Call all these people. I had 20, 30 people go down to that lady's store. She was able that day make $8,000. We practically bought out her entire store. Somebody's doing her logo. Somebody's doing her commercial. Somebody's doing all of this. She got 3-4 news articles. She got on 3-4 news stations. Come to find out, she said, I didn't know all this would come from me paying somebody $50 for an Instagram post. I said, yo. So the person who created the Instagram post crafted the copy in a way to make us all want to support her. Yeah. That was the thing. That's how so she grew her following, and now her business is in a better place, at least for the next several months, from that one theme page that I saw and say, yo, let me go help change this lady's life.
Yeah.
So how we built all of our traffic then was all organic thing. And we were outperforming Facebook ads like crazy. Now, again, we never were able to crack the code. So that's all we knew was the theme pages. And the other dope thing that I liked about the theme pages at that time, this before SMS was a thing, we collecting everybody's number. We collecting everybody's email. So we getting the reason theme pages were better than Facebook. We're getting the follow.
Yep.
We're getting your phone number. We're getting your email when you opt into the webinar, your phone number, your email. We're getting you on Messenger.
Yeah.
When you're opting in on Messenger. So we just been able to now communicate you with 4 ways. And now you get to now see me every day on social, do all the other things that I do. So now we're creating a whole indoctrination. You're not able to do that essentially with ads off the rip.
Right.
So that we literally did that for years.
Wow.
And webinar every single week. And we're making 20K a Sunday, 30K a Sunday. You got to think we weren't making that type of 50K a Sunday. And this wasn't even at a full optimization level at that time. Like nowadays, I'm going to go look at things and try to pick apart everything we're not doing. We just did the same thing straight for a year, 2 years. We just optimizing the presentation. We weren't optimizing the webinar anymore. We weren't adding more tweaks and more tricks and more things to it. Now I go look at a virtual event. Yo, what's one of my guys, we just did their virtual event. They only had one ticket type, only. I said, yo, let me come in. We added a VIP. Let's add notes on here. Let's add the replay on here. We added like 5 other upsells, increased their 1,000% or way more in sales from the traffic is already coming here, but you're neglecting serving them at the highest level by only offering one thing.
Right.
So I'm obsessing now at looking at things like how do we get like my homie Josh, like, yo, it's like a lemon. How do you turn a lemon into lemonade? Like we squeezing the lemon, we making lemon meringue pie, we putting the seeds back in the dirt, like we making lemon juice. Like we're trying to exhaust everything that we do now. And that's what I didn't understand when I started. Now I'm trying to exhaust everything.
Well, you know, you're going to go put in all this work anyway. Like, so you think about it. You're spending all the money on the theme pages or ads or whatever, or making
whatever.
organic content. Don't really matter. Either way, you're going to get a certain amount of eyeballs. So you better make sure your landing page is optimized, the tickets, the upsells, the opt-in. You know, speaking of Russell, you know, I'm fortunate that he's hosting Funnel Hacking Live here in Vegas virtually because I got like 7, you know, dope people coming through. And it's just like right down the street.
Good looking, Russ.
So appreciate you. But one thing he told me when he was here a few months ago was, he goes, hey, I go, what do you think is the lowest hanging fruit that people aren't doing to, you know, really like get a better ROI?
Yeah.
What do you think he said, if you had to guess?
I want to say something around community.
No.
Okay. Lowest.
Like I said, like
upsells on the funnel?
I was like, if you were trying to get better ROI from your marketing and stuff, like, would you do a different marketing channel? Would you change the offer? Would you make a new product, a new upsell? He's like, no, I wouldn't do any of that. He goes, the number one thing that people just don't really think about is just landing page optimization. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, well, just think about it. If you could get 2 times as many opt-ins by tweaking the headline and the copy and the placement and the form,
that's good.
You just doubled your ROI.
Yeah, that's good.
I was like,
yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah, because we're all like, dude, we got to get more leads. How do we get our cost per lead down?
Yeah.
And then we're like, man, we got to sell more tickets.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, if the ticket can't change, like, well, let's say we've got the upsells, we've got the tickets. Oh man, the theme pages aren't working. Maybe I'll try YouTube ads.
Yeah.
But he's like, nah, dude, like, have you thought about the landing page? Have you looked into opt-in rates?
That's good. Like, and most people aren't looking at that. Like I right now,
Very
off the top
rare.
of my head, can't tell. Now we are looking. We do look to optimize.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you off the top of my head, yo, what's the opt-in rate right now?
Yeah.
But 5% extra, and I tell people like most webinars code 1 to 5%. You know what I mean? Unless you're a magician.
Yeah.
So what can you do to increase it by 1%?
Yeah, if you're 1% now and it gets to 2.
You double your revenue.
Yeah.
It's game changing.
So, and it made a lot of sense to me. So now I watch that like a hawk.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, all right, the ads are the ads. There's only so much I can do to optimize Facebook and the ads.
100%.
And my product's my product. It's finalized.
Yeah.
So what happens in between?
That's good, yeah. And I think even down to that, even once you get them in, like there's just a webinar, I could just share some things that leaks that people are missing. One of the big leaks on the webinar is you don't have a bridge sale. When I say you, not you per se. So
I probably don't have it because I don't even know what a bridge sale is.
So essentially, you opt into the webinar for free.
Yep.
Cool, I'm opted in. We'll see you on the class. Soon as you opt in for free, there needs to be another sell immediately for $27 to $37.
Right.
That is a workbook. That's something that's helping you get a step closer to getting you content. Like binging your stuff, reading more. Like we're trying to prepare you to know about Ryan before you even show up to this thing. You've already read 5 to 10 pages. You already watched some sort of YouTube video. So we are now doing that. Then if they don't buy that, we got a downsell. And then to take it another step forward, we got another upsell, right? Because you got to go through the funnel anyway. You have to tell me no.
Yeah.
Most people are like, well, you're not making any more money because you're not offering them anything. Then after that, when they get through there, another big mistake is 20% of everybody who opt in that's going to be the average show up rate. Exceptional 30%. It could be up to 50% if they're warm people.
All organic.
Yeah, all organic. The warmest ever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But normally, historically, you're running between that 15 to 20%. So where are these people hanging out at during that time? So there needs to be a Facebook created, a school, a WAP, or something. It's just a holding ground for everybody who ever opts in. So we got a Facebook group that got 30,000 people. They're all my webinar opt-ins.
Right.
So guess what? Before the webinar drop, we now got to look at it as a distribution channel. We got another place to let y'all know, hey, we got a webinar that's starting tonight. Yes, you're going to text them, but we're texting you. We're emailing you. We're dropping in the Facebook group. We're giving you a ringless voice note. Like we're doing everything in our power to make you show up.
Right.
So quick two hacks is add the bridge cell and add a holding area for people to be able to come in. And in that holding area, you're going mini lives. You're just adding more value.
Yeah.
Another thing that I see is people aren't offering financing on the webinar. Game changer. So 30 to 40% of our sales when we were running our webinar every single week came from PayPal credit. Now it has advanced. You got PayPal credit, you got Afterpay, you got Affirm, you got Klarna. Like the other day, I'm talking to you. You're like, yo, Afterpay is now Affirm is now doing this up to a certain number now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at that. Guess what I did as soon as I got off the call with you? That thing is on.
Yeah.
But that's optimizing at its best. It's like when someone gives me something, I'm not going to not do this because we in a game where those points matter. 1% is like, it's huge. So one of the things I know in a webinar, here's what I do after I drop the price. So I'm giving so much game, step 2, step 3. Yo, so many of y'all messaging me about like, I'm ready to buy it now. Is it okay if I give you guys a little bit more value? And is it okay to also let you know, most of you here today, y'all going to start today for free? Is that okay? So guess what I just did on step 2? I just hooked everybody here to let you know now that you have the opportunity to join my program for free. Now you're staying till the end anyhow.
Yeah.
So when I get to that point, now I get to the price. Soon as I drop the price now, guys, I got some good news I want to share with you guys. I'm super excited to announce my partnership with PayPal. What PayPal does is something called PayPal Credit. And what PayPal Credit does, within 30 seconds, they will let you know if you are approved to join the program. 0% down and then 0% interest over 6 months. If you got to pay the minimum, of course. Yeah. But essentially, the name of the game is throughout my webinar, I talked about leverage. You're a real estate guy. The game is leverage. You're not just cashing out on all these properties and all this stuff. So I'm teaching them leverage throughout this particular presentation. So when I get to that point, you guys can literally start today for free. Come learn and do the things that we teach you. Go make the money and then pay it back.
Yeah.
So 30 to 40% of people go take the PayPal credit option. One, because they may didn't have it. One, they just didn't have the money. And two, most of it they didn't have the money. But two is like, well, I'll just use the leverage. If not, I'll just pay the minimum.
Yeah.
So those are offering financing on there. Some people just don't believe in credit. So if you don't believe in credit, this wouldn't be for you. But if you believe in credit, you got to offer that. You have to have the holding ground for your customers. And the other biggest mistake that I see is you spent 60 minutes to 90 minutes teaching and you spend 10 minutes selling. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
You need to sell for 30. Jason Flatlin, one of my guys, he says it gets good at 3.5 hours. Now, again, I don't do 3.5 hours, but
I ain't got to do that. No.
He says it get good at 3.5 hours. He's excited at 3.5 hours, bro.
I need to get him on the show, by the way.
I think he's coming. I'll set it up.
Okay.
Put you on.
Well, I got him.
Oh, you got him? Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think he's coming this weekend.
Okay. Of course he is.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna have another one.
But he like, yeah, bro. He like, it gets good in 3.5 hours. You should have seen him, right? He like, it gets good. I used to do the 3 hours every week, but I'm spending 60 to 75 minutes selling. One way to increase everybody conversion rates, double the time that you are selling.
Right.
If you're selling for 10, make it 20. You're selling for 30, make it an hour. And one of the things that I did that I still don't see anybody do, I'm bringing in the live testimonials during the actual webinar.
Yeah.
Live, right there. People who I've helped where they can share their experience.
Yep.
And generally, I like to bring in testimonials and real client success stories. One, because you can't fake them. It's not a screenshot. It's not a video. You can hear their passion. You can hear where they were at. And I like to give people multiple different people. Depends who my audience is. I want you to hear about somebody who's 18 that went and made success. I want you to hear about somebody that was recently divorced and lost it all, was able to go make this happen. I want you to go hear about somebody who's 65 years old who got in the game, because now I'm handling every objection.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm old. She's 65. I'm young. He's 18. I was divorced. She was divorced. So the webinar for me is a science. It's not just so you get on there and present. It's every word. Soon as you start, the sales process begins. The moment that you open your mouth.
Yeah.
And the other thing is lack of engagement in the chat and in your presentation kills so many of the. Like, you're trying to make an offer at the end. You're trying to get them to buy something, and you ask them to do nothing during the whole presentation. They need to. It's something called micro commitments. They need to be saying 50 to 100 yeses. Like, yes, I agree. Like, yes, I'm ready. Like, just because psychology is, I'm not going to agree. Even at live events, I'm like, yo, bro, like, they just sat there and talked for an hour. You just talked to the crowd. You didn't talk with the crowd.
Yeah.
They're going into a deep sleep right now. They're asleep.
Yeah.
So when people are making an offer, like, if you haven't been intentionally talking to your audience, getting them to talk back, it's going to be a lot harder for you to become successful or make sales being dry.
Yeah. What do you think about just this whole concept of teaching versus, selling, or teaching too much, right? Because I think a lot of people, myself included, I catch myself doing this where I just want to give so much value that I go into ultra teaching mode and technical mode. And then obviously sales always suffer when you do that, and you think you're giving more value, and then people, I think, sometimes also just feel too overwhelmed. They're just like, oh man, that seems like a lot of work.
I think Russell, one of the things Russell say, you teach the what, not the how. But similar to you, I was like, when I was doing that earlier on, I feel like people were buying, but sometimes it just don't make, I feel like I'm a fluff master. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't want to do that.
It don't make me feel like great. Like, yo, I didn't get them anything. So I think you got to create that happy medium of some hardcore gems with some storytelling and with some, just don't go, I'm not going to give you everything where it's like, well, you don't even need any of this. You don't even need my stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So I think there is a happy medium that you got to get to, but I don't think you could just fluff somebody out. Like I want to give you game, and I'm in, you know, as you can see, I'm African American. You ain't getting over like that. You're like, it ain't no getting over. Like, you got to give people real game. I'm making sure my people leaving with game.
Yeah.
Where whether you rock with me or not, you ain't gonna be like, that dude came on here and taught me absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know I'm going to give you more in my free game than the paid people courses on a webinar.
Yeah.
But I've learned how to do that where you're getting a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But my sales still suffer because I'm giving them game where they're like, I'll just
Sometimes
go try
you just go
myself.
down this rabbit hole and you just like keep going, answering questions.
Yep. And I think that's where you got to go. Listen, I understand a lot of you going to go try to do it yourself. And I'm not mad at you trying it.
Yeah.
But the mistakes that you're going to make,
yeah,
you much rather just
pay the thing.
Pay the thing. It's cheap anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to cost you a lot more.
Trying it on yourself, time, failure.
Yeah. Try to flip a house without your guidance. You know the mistake. Like one of my guys, I'm like, she had a bad real estate deal go bad. She didn't do it again for another 6 years. What did that cost you if average? You're flipping 2-3 houses a year, or you're buying 2-3 investment properties a year.
Well, it last 6 years, think about how much they've gone up.
Yeah, all you had to do was pay $1,000 or whatever this thing cost from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, speak about that too, right? Audience.
Yeah.
So you said you got a lot of Black audience.
Yeah, which is me. That's my people. I love my people.
Do you specifically just think like, man, all right, I'm a cater to my community, my people that I just know their problems. I can relate. I understand this. Like, is that, I mean, obviously it's intentional, but also like, do you think other people should be doing that? How do you choose your audience and who to sell to?
I've just always had my people. Like, I'm from West Philly, the trenches. Like, I'm having a live event. It's not like, now granted, I went to an all-white high school where I'm so grateful that my mom sent me there, because that really changed everything for me, because I didn't know there were more than a drug-infested neighborhood. My friends had hospitals, pool houses, acres of land, movie theaters in their homes. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm lived in a row home, 3 bedrooms, 400 square feet, it's a walk outside, prostitutes on the corner, walk around the corner. I play ball all day and just watch them deal coke. I didn't know there was really more. Now, granted, my mom moved me to a better neighborhood, but it was just a better version of where I was living at.
Right. So,
more of the story, I have gravitated to just really, my people, right? My African American brothers and sisters, whatever, minorities, right? Because that's who I came to serve. Like, that's who learned from me. Now, granted, when I'm in the Russells in these different rooms, I am other people are learning about me, but I don't think I could go out here and say I'm going to just market to this race, because I don't think I would be successful at all like that. Because I understand what my people going through. I personally know the thing that is stopping most of them is starting. I know that, like, fear of failure. I don't know that about everybody. I can't say that about, I don't know. I know what's stopping you. I know your credit is stopping you.
Yeah.
We learn about credit after we already mess it up.
Right.
There's no credit education there's not much credit education being done in our homes.
Yeah.
So it's like, I learned about credit after I ruined it. That's most of the people I grew up with and who I know.
Yeah.
So I know credit is holding you back. I know starting is holding you back, because you never seen anyone start. You never seen successful businesses ran. You never looked under the hood of a business. So I know kind of what we need. So I talk to what I know, essentially.
Yeah. Do you think that you're specifically calling out Black people, or are you just talking about problems they have and it naturally brings them in just based on your content?
Yeah, I mean,
how does that work?
I think my content is really not, I don't even want to say calling out, because I don't know how that sounds, but I personally think I'm just I'm sharing what I wish somebody would have told me.
Yeah.
I wish somebody had told me about marketing.
I'll give you my perspective.
Yeah.
So for me, like I'm half white, half Filipino. I don't like call out Filipino. Like,
Yeah.
and by the way, there'd be like no event. The event would be small. There's not that many Filipinos. My cap would be really small.
Yeah, your addressable market.
Yeah, my TAM is not big with that. But, you know, I talk about who I am, right? So I'll talk about faith. I'll talk about family. I talk about
finances.
You know, being an athlete. And so if you go to my event, I mean, it's super diverse. Like, and it's not like I'm trying to attract Christians, but we get a lot of Christians. It's not like I'm trying to get family guys, but guess what? It just happens.
'Cause that's who you are.
That's who I am. And so I think it's just like, for me anyways, you just attract who you are, but you don't even have to intentionally try to attract them. That's why I was curious, like, how it ended up for you.
Yeah, same. I just feel like it's just regular. It's like like I'm attracting family men. I'm attracting people who came from nothing. I'm just attracting. I was all of the, before I became who I am now, meaning still regular, but before I got married, before I created some sort of success, before I was the bad credit person. I was the kicked out of high school person. I was the kicked out of college person, fired. I was everybody who I talk to now.
Yeah.
So that's how I already know. I'm like, yo, what you waiting on to start?
I know exactly what you're about to do.
Yeah, exactly. I know you're going to be in your head. I was on a call the other day. It was 80 people on the call. I did a call for somebody. I said, hey, I want all y'all to go tag me and go do this at best. And I said this intentionally because this is the only reason why I increased. At best, only 10 of you will actually go do it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how many did it. I understand this is just people in general. We lack execution.
Yeah.
It's just by nature, like, we just don't got execution. It's like we believe that tomorrow's going to be here and I get another chance. And
you know what's crazy? You just made me think about that, right? Because you're like, hey, I know 10 of you are going to do this max.
Yeah.
And it's true, right? Like, we have seen at events, and we can get back to like live events too, that on average, your conversion rate is 10% if you're good.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, man, we're going to get 8 people probably, right?
Yeah.
And it does not matter what you're selling. It does not matter the demographic. It doesn't matter virtual, live. Like, it's just always like 10%. And it goes back to what you just said of like, we just have a people problem. People just don't execute.
That's it, bro.
Like, what happens to the other 90% who took the time to attend this 3-hour webinar, go to this 2-day event, 3-day event, and then they just is like, it's good.
Most stay content, right? I think, and most just, one of my brothers, Marcus Waroger, he says, they become addicted to education but allergic to execution. Like, they're addicted to, it make you feel good.
It's entertainment.
You're at an event, it feels great, and then you're like, well, I'm going to go back to regular life, and it's just.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. And Inky Johnson says, you are naive to believe you're going to make it home tonight. But they haven't had an experience yet. I almost lost my mom last year. Thank God she's good, but in almost losing her, she was already living her life. Now she on an airplane every month. She's out. She's smelling fresh air. She's with her grandkid. Like, she's making every day count. Most people got to experience a near-death situation, a ailment, a health ailment. Something got to happen to move most people into action.
Yeah.
So that 90% most likely won't do anything until something detrimental happens or something is moving them in action. Or what I've done that has worked great for my clients, and when I was heavily doing our mastermind, is I give people a deadline and then I give them a extreme penalty if they don't do it. So for example, hey, I'm about to have a live event. Give me the date. If you don't do it, you owe me $20,000.
Ooh.
If you don't do it, you got to flush $5,000 to the table, down the drain. If you don't do it, you live in Chicago, from the month of November to January, you got to catch a bus everywhere where you got to go. It got to be something and then you need an accountability partner that's holding you accountable that actually benefits from if you don't do it. One of my homies, AJ, shout out to AJ, I'm like, yo, he hates live events, hates talking. We say, yo, you got to do a ride along. And if you don't do it, you got to give your Can-Am away to whoever it was. He did that live event. His Can-Am was 60 grand. I had a homie, his name's Rod. We were at a mastermind, and I told him the concept. He said, if I don't do it, I got to give my ex-wife $10,000. And I hate her. That ain't going to happen. Best believe he went and did the thing.
That was the most painful one.
Yeah, I learned that we got to give ourselves penalties of inaction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If not, we ain't going to do it. That's where accountability comes into place at.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, you went from webinars to live events.
Yeah.
Obviously, with live events, you got way more at stake.
Yeah.
Way more work, production,
Jeez.
cost.
Oh.
There's logistical now, objections.
Yes.
So what pushed you there? What let's talk about this space.
What pushed me to, mind you, I was already doing the live events, right?
Right.
And I was like, well, I like the live events or whatever, because I was doing them on that small scale. And then we did that live event where I made the $35K offer and made over $1 million on the stage. I'm like, what?
Let's do that.
Yeah, and my homie did it too.
Yeah.
So we went and ran it back. It was another
Wait, you guys pitched 2 offers?
We did 2 offers. So we had partners. It was 5 of us. Me and one of my partners, we're learning, we're studying, we're learning how, like, we're getting better. No one else, like, in the last several years, I'm over $700K in personal development, masterminds, coaching, going to events, like all in on this type of stuff. Like I curate masterminds. We went to Bali, took 7-8 people there. We locked ourselves in a room for days, and we all went crazy when we left out of there. Like we dug into this. So we got good at sales. So he went, and then I went, and we literally, that room was crazy. It was 2,000-3,000 people in there. They took his offer. They took my offer. First time I ever saw it. Right? I'm like,
that's crazy that there was multiple high ticket offers to the same.
His
audience.
was like $5K though. So, but we were the only 2 that essentially made offers. My other guys did it, but it was like $99. They didn't understand how to. It's so
you were like, I'm gonna go 35,000.
Yeah, and I was scared, bro. You wouldn't believe. I almost wasn't going to do it. I haven't seen Myron do it. I never saw it done from a stage ever.
Yeah,
I know it's done, and it worked. I was like, what? So, and that's kind of when I went down the rabbit hole on having the live events, having the challenges, having these events where I would just make offers at the end of the event. So I would spend, we had Miami, the Lowe's Hotel. We would go spend $200-300 on an event, and we know we gonna make an offer. We had another one in Atlanta. We'll spend $200-300 because we know we gonna make an offer. I started to realize that I'm okay with not making no money on the front end, long as I go make an offer. And we were always making offers, making $500 to $1.5 million at the end of every single event from me just doing the offers.
Yeah.
Now, when you compare these to challenges, personally don't care about live events anymore because you can be just as effective with a virtual event as you can be in a live event. Now, again, can you have as much indoctrination? I don't think the customer experience is as great if you are intentional about the live event, but you're also not spending a few $100,000. Our last Circle CEO event cost us like $1.5 million. One of my partners had the idea. Marcus, him 500. This is on you, dog. Let's get a round stage. The stage needs to spin. I'm like, bro, what do we
Why?
Bro, we got
a merry-go-round?
We went to Grant Cardone event. He says Grant had a stage that spin. We went and we're trying to replicate a man who makes 100, 200, or however much he makes a year.
We're not there yet.
And we go spend, bro, we spent like $1.5 million on that event. We had Ed Milet, we had Timberland, I think we had David Goggins. I'm like, yo, we just made an offer, but we just broke even because we spent all the darn money. So we made an offer. I think the offer might have made $1 million, but we spent $1.5 million on. We went in the hole on the darn event,
like a lot.
And COVID happened, so we had to postpone it. It just ended up being a disaster. But I'm like, bro, I don't mind.
You still obviously hold that against them today.
Yes, I hold that. Yeah, it's your fault. If you listening, you gonna see this. But yeah, but I understand him. He's all about going big, but I'm all about being efficient.
You're all about making money.
Yeah,
like
I want to do the make it look great, and we still make some money.
Yeah.
With the spinning stage wasn't necessary. The show was literally spinning right in the middle of the design they had to make was like, they like, yo, we never did the design like this in here. You had to hoist all the things up.
You were trying to create the sphere before it existed.
Exactly. I'm like,
hey, he's gonna try and make you get the sphere next.
Yeah, bro. I'm done. Yeah, I heard they want like $1 million for just advertising.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
you want to rent the whole thing?
Yeah.
Who knows? What
$5 million, probably.
At least.
Yeah, but the amount of mistakes that we learned, and this is why I've been going down a rabbit hole on virtuals, is because we can bring these and create such a dope experience for your people live and just really turn it up. So
yeah. So you've got you learned a lot about live events. Obviously, you've sold, you've made mistakes, you've done everything you can imagine. And then
I want to get this hack too on filling up your live event too.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do on our challenges, we do anywhere between 3 to 4 challenges a year, and this could be a dope hack. Every challenge that we do or virtual event that we do, it comes with a live ticket to the live event for you and a guest.
Okay.
So just think about, you start a virtual event in January, you have your WealthCon or, your Wealthy Way in January, you do another one in April, you do another one in, making this up, July. And then at the end of the year, December, and we may not do December, but whatever. And end of the year, everybody who came to this event, who came through all of the events, you now get to come to my live event. So now I'm physically filling up my room throughout the entire year, and you're bringing a guest.
Yeah, you're going to have butts in the seats.
Yeah. That also, they actually paid you prior to.
Yeah, they're motivated.
Yeah, they're motivated. But now 50% of my room is now filled.
Yeah.
And I don't got to just...
A lot less stress.
Yeah, because you be stressed, not you.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Oh yeah, the team is, filling up 1,000 people
It's not
no
so
joke.
When I discovered that, and another hack is, this has worked amazing for us in our mastermind, is everybody in our mastermind, you could bring 3 guests. And if this person joins, you get a percentage of them joining. So a nice affiliate. Yeah. So now they're
pick some real guests.
You're being intentional. Don't invite your mama. You know what I mean? Like mama ain't, I don't know if mama buying. Yeah. Like, invite a homie like us. Like if I'm going to an event, hey Ryan, you want to go to this? Like I'm inviting him 500. I'm inviting people who are in position to buy whatever the offer is. So it's likely that person may buy the offer.
Well, you know what's funny about that is that's the same thing that happens at these nonprofit dinners. So like I get invited to nonprofit.
I've never been to a nonprofit dinner.
Yeah. So like, they're doing these fundraisers and stuff like that. Okay. And so I'll get invited by rich friends, and they're like, "Hey, Ryan, come to this." But I already know what the deal is. Like, I've been invited before, and that's the whole premise. It's like, yo, you buy a table, you invite your rich friends. Don't be inviting broke people, and we're gonna go try and raise money for this nonprofit. Like, that's the whole deal. So it's the same concept.
We actually need to do that for all the things we do. Now, my mom keep asking, "Please do a gala." I just be feeling weird asking people for money. I'd be weird sometimes.
I did too. It's weird because we're totally fine asking people for money in normal business.
Exactly.
You're like,
yes, no problem.
Yeah, you're like, bro.
That'll be 10,000.
35. Yeah. Right? $1.5 million for the spinning stage.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
But when it comes to, a true nonprofit, I had the same thing as you. I'm like, dude, like, it's all good. Yeah. Right? But clearly you have to raise money.
100%.
Like if you want this thing to be big, you got to raise money. Yeah. So I got a nonprofit. It's called Wealthy Kingdom. And so, we're helping Christian business people. And for the first year, I didn't raise any money. I just funded it. And I did not want anyone to question the motives and all this stuff, right? Yep. But then I just finally realized one day, I'm like, dude, like this is only going to be so big with just me. Like, sure, I can keep funding it at its current level, but it's never going to be this level unless we get some other donors and we actually sell something within, nonprofits are businesses. Yeah. It's just...
And they're big businesses. Too.
Yeah, they're businesses. It's just they have a purpose that, they're not going to get taxed on. They're going to use the money for their purpose and their mission and everything else. And it's like, so finally... we started taking donations a couple of months ago, and we created a little group within Wealthy Kingdom that's committed to donating every month called Tent Makers. And
I like that.
Yeah, it's great.
Fire.
And I think we got like 20 something people all committed to giving $1,000 a month,
Mm.
and really high caliber Christian business people.
Because it's like a form of tithes anyway.
Yeah. And there's no like, and it's funny because there's no like offer, it's not like, hey guys, we're going to do 3 masterminds. It's like, no guys, like this is what it's about.
Yeah.
You know what you're
going to really make a difference.
You've seen what we do. We're going to make it happen, and we're going to connect everyone here because you're going to know, like, man, these are the other people just like you who are committed to this. And
powerful.
We'll do stuff throughout the year, but there's no like official thing.
Yeah, I might do that. I like that. I just always, similar to you, bro, I've always felt weird asking because one of the things I used to had the nonprofit, and after every event we had, we used to have these Christmas events, Thanksgiving events. We bust in hundreds of people, providing them with more warm meals, haircuts, and coats. Christmas, we give 1,000 kids brand new toys, haircuts, all type of stuff. Every March, we take 100 to 200 inner city kids skiing.
Yeah.
1 in 10 kids been skiing.
Yeah.
I'm sure even 5 out of 10 probably of all kids, it's not a thing that you do.
Yeah.
So after every event, I would go travel the next day.
Yeah.
And you taking the people money, you doing this, and they don't know I was on buddy passes, I was on flight passes, I had a hotel connect. These trips be costing me like $250. I'm not taking the money. So ever since then, it always put a bad taste in my mouth that you're not gonna say, well, you got a Lamborghini truck, your wife got a Lamborghini. Since years, I pretty much don't ask because I never want you to say, I'm taking your money for me to live this life. No, I'm living this lifestyle now and I'm not taking. So now when I'm doing charity, it's funny. This week, Sunday, we're pulling up to a business. I got word that she's about to go out of business. Got a storefront. I'm mobilizing 300 people. Mm-hmm. We're going to do a flash mob. And normally flash mob, kids breaking stuff, they're wrecking stuff. We're going to mobilize 300 people. We're going to walk. We're going to be in her area. We're going to walk in her building together at 3 p.m. And my goal is to literally buy out the entire store. Those are the type things that gives me so much joy. But hey, don't give me the money. You're going to give it directly to her. So a lot of my things is like, give it to the person to help them. But I realize I'm being selfish by not collecting money because I could be doing so much more.
100%.
And I really think I've been asking God lately, like, I'm gonna be honest, right? Normally I used to ask God, I'm like, do your way with me. But I really didn't want that. I'm sure, you know what I mean? Like,
but as long as it's something I want to do.
Yeah, I'm like, do your way with me. Well, you gonna remove the house? You gonna remove the car? But now I'm at a point like, God, what is it that you actually want? I'm doing everything honestly in my power. What is it that you want? And this thing make me feel the most excited, just giving back. It gives me my greatest. I got a street named after me. I just revitalized my whole basketball court. We just did water wells in Africa. That went into the hospital. We paid everybody in Africa in this one hospital all their bills. People were able to get released. That's the thing that get me going.
And then I would say the thing that helped me, get over it was that, well, imagine if you could do that 100 times bigger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, and the only way I could do that is with the help of others.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
And you can do it yourself by you, but what about other people that want to invest with you in that mission? And, Let
me ask you this. What do you believe as far as tithes? So what I do with tithes, I know they say 10%, but I don't give only 10%. These missions are part of my tithes.
Got it.
I don't know. I know everybody got their own thoughts on that. Like if I'm going to go feed the homeless, it's $1,000 for the month and just say my tithes is 10,000, 20, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I went to churches, bro, and they don't do nothing for the people, bro.
Yeah.
So how I'm supposed to knowingly know they're not doing anything for the people, give my money? Yeah. That don't make sense to me. So I do my own thing.
Okay. So I'll give you the biblical answer. So people think that tithing is this thing that was part of the law in the Old Testament. It was. But even before there was the law, Abraham tithed. And he just gave an offering to God because he just felt like, yo, you've given me so much. Like, I need to.
Yeah.
You've given me this. This ain't mine. It's yours. And so it is not an Old Testament thing, or it was long before any of this. Now, going forward, Jesus talks about, hey, everyone should give generously. He who gives generously will reap generously, or who sows generously. And there's a whole bunch of Bible verses, but I'll just cut to the end here. At the end of the day, my belief, based on Scripture, is that you should give 10% minimum to the church that you attend. And then everything else above that is beyond and beyond of whatever you want to give.
Yeah.
And the reason being,
what if the church don't do the work?
You shouldn't be at that church.
True. Yeah.
And that's always the thing. It's like,
Omar go to the same church, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he tell me how good y'all churches. Y'all be having dinners, y'all be kicking it, playing ball.
Yep. And that's what I tell people, like, the church is just, I'm like, well, you're at the wrong church. Yeah. Why would you go to that church if you don't think that
makes sense?
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So that's
not my church now. Shout out Darius Daniels. I go to his church. So I gladly give money, but I still do my thing. Like his church, bro.
And this is what we tell people.
Crazy.
Yeah, Darius is great. He was just here a couple of weeks ago. But what I tell people is, at the end of the day, the church needs money to function.
Yeah.
It just does. And the stat is 93% of people who go to church don't give $1.
Wow, 93.
That's the stats.
Crazy. Yeah, wow.
So 7% of people actually tithe.
Yeah.
And tithe something, not 10%. I don't even know what it's probably 1% that actually tithe 10% or more.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a huge problem for the church in a lot of cases. And when you see a mega church and things like that, you're like, well, they don't need my money. And it's true, they don't need your money. Like, at the end of the day, the giving has nothing to do with the church needing. It's everything to do with you and God. And
good.
It's where your heart is with your money.
That makes sense.
Am I so attached to my money that, I feel like I could do better with it than something else, and I should be, I earned it, I made it. It's like, well, no. God gave you the talent to do the things you do and to create and make and all this. So anyways, the simple answer is you should give at least 10% to your church. If you don't trust your church, then that's a whole different subject. You should be at a different church.
100%.
But if you do trust your church and you're going and you're a member and they're serving you and you're doing all these things, then you should be giving to them.
100%.
And I've told this to business people who struggle with tithing too. And this is not your case because you're giving, but they're like, well, I don't know. It's just like, whether they're just greedy or whether they, are going through a rough spot, whatever. I go, imagine if you had a business, let's say you own McDonald's, and people just got to all come to McDonald's for free. And then you had to serve them, no matter who came in, and give them food, give them bread, give them Coke and all this stuff. And then hope they may or may not pay you and support you in what you're doing. Yeah. Because that's exactly what the church is.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. Wow.
Anyone can walk in the church for free.
Yeah.
Anybody can go attend for years and do nothing.
Yeah. It's not like it's a membership. Yeah.
No, like anybody can go. Yeah. And then they still have to go function and pay staff and do events and the cost of their events.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully, it makes people think differently about it.
That's good. I like that concept. I'm gonna look into that. But that's good.
Yeah. So, and by the way, Darius, he's the man.
Yeah, he is, bro. I love his church. That's what made me love church again, bro. His church, because I'll see what they do for people, bro. And that's really my guy. So I know that thing. He's legit. Like, he's official. He the same way on the camera as he is off the camera.
Yeah.
And he's the one.
Yeah. We haven't released it yet. I don't know what happened. You guys maybe lost it. They haven't released it yet. I'm looking at
y'all
these
did
guys.
the show?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
And I'm like, where'd it go?
Yeah.
So by the time this comes out, hopefully it'll be down in the description.
Right.
It'll be the next video.
Yeah.
But no, I love that. So let me ask you another question, right? When it comes to just this internet money type deal, right? Making money online. Because like you said, you're like, look, my guy asked me if he should do motors. And you're like, nah, bro, there's way easier ways to make money than the
100%.
fruit stand 10 years ago.
100%, yeah.
So what do you think people should be doing to make money online today?
Yeah, so it's a tough thing because when I say it's tough, it's a lot of options. I think one of the main things people should be learning is sales first off, because it is applicable to everything, whether you need to be learning sales. And the number one thing I'd be recommending people to do, where you don't got to go build a personal brand, go find a you.
Yeah.
Go find a me, understand sales, sell their product, and make 10 to 20% of doing that.
Yep.
That's essentially what I did with my first partner that I did that with. I'm like, yo, I get a percentage of everything that I sell. You be the face. You deal with the scrutiny. You deal with all of those things. It's a no. So that's the first thing I recommend people. Find somebody where you could just go sell their product that got some zeros behind it.
Yep.
Not $100. Do you got something for 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million?
You can make some money.
And that's the main thing I would do. Second thing, I would just start thinking about agency. What's one thing that you could get extremely good at and you offer it to a very specific business owner? What can you offer to lawyers? One of my guys said this the other day. Shout out Andy Stickle. He said, biggest mistake people have is you're selling to broke people.
Yeah.
He said when the pandemic happened, most things went out of business. Nothing stopped in my business because guess who I'm selling to? I'm selling to lawyers.
Yeah.
So what can you create specifically that's for a lawyer? What can you create specifically that's for a doctor? And focus on that. Can I run a social media marketing agency for lawyers? And that's all I do. I'm charging one lawyer $10,000 a month. I'll go find a video editor, go do it, and now you go get 5 of them.
Yeah.
I'm finding a home service-based business that need AI or systems put in their business. I'm figuring out what's the latest, most cutting-edge AI, and I just start going to go offer that.
Yeah.
So I would think agency-based right now, finding one thing that you can niche down on, or finding someone else offer that you could sell. Those are two things that I think don't require you to develop a real skill of speaking. You still got to know how to talk. But you don't got to be trying to do psychology and you get this, you get that. It's just.
Yeah.
So those are two things I think that are important right now. Finding an agency model and offering that to business owners. And the other thing I would say right now is a focus on mine is going from B2C and to B2B to B2G. How can you sell what you offering to the government? You know what I mean? Where it don't necessarily got to be online, like home health care.
They don't got a budget.
Yeah, somebody where they ain't going to say, how many people you help make money do this, they still left you, right?
A lot.
I help people make millions of dollars. They still like this. Deuces.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you've got what we did here together? So guess what? The government ain't asking that. You know what I mean? So one of my focuses now is B2G, selling to the government.
What do you think you're going to sell them?
I mean, one of my things I'm on now is home health care. That's been around, but my mentor is making crazy money. So I've been focusing on that. And that's...
Is that what is home health care? Just to clarify.
To clarify, and there's different aspects. So I'll give you guys one version, right? So there's certain individuals who may be sick, right? Certain levels of sickness, right? I use my friend dad. My friend dad has Alzheimer's, right?
Yep.
And he, based on his insurance, he's allowed to have an aide with him 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. The aide pays, the government is paying between $25 to $30 per hour for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are now paying, and this is almost like a glorified staffing agency, right?
Yeah.
But you're being paid from the government for this client.
Yep.
And you are now,
you pay the aide $10, $15
$15. You make the spread.
Yep.
But they're not going to call you and say we can no longer pay.
Yeah. You don't got to worry about that.
So for the rest of this, my brother's father's life, he will have an aide there to make his life much better.
Yep.
and the government's going to pay for it. They can't say I gotta. It's like the government saying, you know what, we got to shut Section 8 down.
Yeah.
The world will go. The world is over if you're thinking you're going to do. So we're looking at. So guess what? You get one client, you're making $15 an hour spread time 24 hours.
Yep.
Time 365 days.
Yep.
What happened when you get 10 of them clients?
Yep.
And it doesn't matter with, you know what, I don't feel like paying you this week. You have to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you made me too much money. I don't need you anymore. You have to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to places where they don't want to stop paying you.
Yeah.
No matter what. So who's that? That's the government. I'm trying to go to contracts with the government in different areas. So I just use that. That's just one version of home health care. So many verticals in that.
Well, it goes back to what you were saying before with continuity.
Yeah. That's everything.
Right.
I'm mad I left it early. Like I'm ready to beat myself in the head.
That or the stage? Which one is more frustrating?
That or both of them. But yeah, no, I would say continuity for sure. Yeah. So we trying to vote on continuity. Like my mentor, he said, you should be focused on people who can pay you on a monthly basis for goods and services, i.e. the government. He said that's my only focus. He said that's all you should focus on.
What's he making doing that?
He's doing $100 million a year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's going goofy. Like he's going insane.
Yeah.
And that's all he focuses on.
And it's all in that niche of home healthcare.
But he got adult stuff. And I was nervous this episode. I don't want y'all trying to go beat me to it. No, because I'm in motion, but I'm just like, somebody going to take this. I'm like, yo, I'm in this now.
Yep. Yeah, that person is me.
Yeah, right. I already see your wheels turning.
Like, so what does he make? And what's the spread? How quickly did it take?
Yeah. So,
what if I own the real estate too?
Yeah, bingo. Yeah. One of my homies, they're crushing it, bro. They're doing same 80 a year, and they got like treatment centers. Yeah, I can't.
I had Eric Spofford on here, and that's
they
what
like
he did.
they run with him. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about this when we were talking a few months back, but like, just the education space in general and like the change it's going through.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys who watch this that are coaches or they're in that space. Like, what do you think is happening?
I mean, one, you got to get it. It's several things. One, there's a lot of mistrust in the place. People have sold products that may not been good. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of the products, we get a bad rep sometimes because someone didn't execute on the information. You got the information, you didn't do nothing with it, and now somebody's a scam.
Yeah.
That's like you purchased it. It's in your email. You did nothing with it, and he is a scam.
Yeah.
And then that word spreads around, and now that's going on somebody's coattail for something that you was like. I paid $150K for one of Russell programs. I remember. I didn't do anything in that year with it. I didn't have time. I can't. Yo, how did it work? Did it work? I didn't work it.
Yeah.
I didn't show up.
Yeah, Russell's not a scam because I didn't do the work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to be like pin this on him because I didn't do nothing with it. I couldn't show up to the darn events.
Yeah.
So I think in life, you get out what you put in.
Yep.
But what I'm learning right now is fulfillment got to be better. You need to really be on top of your stuff. And you got to actually be good now. You can't just be out here selling anything. Like, you got to really be able to get people results. And some of the offers that I see are working the best now is offers that you are almost semi-done for you, as long as you can fulfill it, but offers that's helping people get a result. Stocks, options, things where you can tell them what to do, they can do it, and they get successful. But it's getting tougher when they actually got to do the work and hope it. Like me helping people get event spaces, you got to have credit.
Yeah.
You got to go find a building.
Yeah.
Got to have a little bit of capital. So that offer isn't as sexy as, hey, I'm going to show you how to get stock. Yeah, it's work. And people don't want to do work.
Yeah, there's work.
Yeah, it's like people
I got to find a thing to rent, and then I got to put some money into it.
Exactly. And then I got to get some tables and chairs. Wait, you tell me I could just buy this stock for $100 and you're going to tell me when to sell the stock and then you're going to tell me when to exit it? I'm on.
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
So what I'm learning is, coaches, we need to get better. Become like, you should be getting better
or
at your craft.
Provide a service.
Or provide a service. And you have to start owning the end-to-end transaction. So if you're showing them how to become their own bank, if you're showing them how to do life insurance, you should own the life insurance company. So, for example,
that they're all going to go into.
Yes.
Right.
So, for example, for me, I taught all these people around the world how to go get event spaces. And this is a mistake I made. Why don't I own an insurance company? Y'all all get insured through me now.
Right.
So everything that they need, you need to own it.
Yes. You need all the services that they're going to use anyway.
100%. If you teaching content, you need to own a content studio so they can do it. Or you need to own like they can come to you and you will do their content and post it for them and do.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Like we switched to continuity. So we got Wealthy You for $97 a month. Mm-hmm. And then I got my CRM and our deal finding software. Before we would just, used to just refer out like, hey, here's 3 different options. And number one, it wasn't as successful for students because you're like, well, yeah. And then it's just more complexity of like, oh, which one should I pick? Yeah. And what are the pros and cons? And, all this stuff. And then now it's like, no, very simple. Hey, you need a CRM.
Yeah.
You just do.
Yeah.
Here's the one we use. We've built it for our business and we're teaching based off this.
Yeah.
Just use it.
Yeah.
And then there's this.
Easy.
And then it's like, you have to have these tools to run a real estate business.
Yeah.
And it, obviously it's great for us, but it leads to even more success because we have control.
100%. Yeah. And this is what we do to get deals.
Yeah. We use this.
Yeah. You need to, you almost.
We're going to teach you based on this thing.
Yeah, you have to have it.
It's like ClickFunnels without ClickFunnels.
Yeah. It's like, I've never canceled ClickFunnels. I need them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, create products that your client needs and they only could get them from you.
What do you think about like with the economy right now and people having less money and
I think
high ticket offers being harder to sell?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I was speaking to Myron earlier and he was like, well, he was like basically like you got to get more audience faster. Like more people need to know you need to exist. But that now boils down to content. Like you said, you blew up in that year. Content.
Yeah.
So
so he's like, you're not going to convert. You just need more people.
Yeah, you need more people. Like
makes sense.
You need, and he's converting, right? But just say you got to pop in YouTube where I'm putting out 10 videos a week or however.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly finding new people. Then my content actually hits.
Yeah.
Because I know how to become an effective communicator.
Yeah.
So that struggle may not even be, I'm just using it. For certain people, that's going to be 100% struggle because you're not an effective communicator. You're not putting out content. I tell people, so I go look at their Instagram. I'm like, yo, you want to make more money? Post more. Like you're not even doing that. So if you ain't putting out the content, if you ain't filming the videos, if you're not making offers, it's going to be harder. So I think every culture, you got to double down more on whatever you do. You need to 5X that thing. Like you got to, in this time, because a lot of people also going to be quitting anyway. You're going to start taking some market share just by you staying consistent in. Like I don't really do my mastermind like that anymore. We only do partnerships.
Right.
Right. Because I want a percentage of what we help you go. We helped all these people. Give me this one payment of $50K, but I go help you make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say I'm not technically in the mastermind space anymore, but they got to go somewhere.
Right.
But now I'm still in the space, but I'm just not in that. But most people are like quitting.
Yeah.
So if you're staying on here, they got to fall somewhere.
They're gonna go someone.
So I think you got to just stay locked in, honestly, right now, and fight the storm. And while you're doing that, think about B2G.
Well, like you said though, you ended up transitioning to a service. You're like, yo, we'll partner with you on the event.
Build it all of that. Make it easy
versus
for
instead of teaching you how to do an event.
100%. I'm done with that. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. You'll make more, and
100%.
There's less people that even want to go do it.
100%. Yeah. You want to build out the funnels. You want to write all the copy. You want to set up the AI bots. You want to set up the virtual strategy. You want to go out and do the shout out pages. You want to go. Yeah, I'll give you.
I'll give
you your part for all of that. Cool, we got you. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, and it makes more sense. I tell people this, and sometimes I get it wrong. Giving me half of your business or a percentage of whatever the percentage is, you're still going to make 100% more than doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Because this all we do. We study this, we train on this, we work on this. I'm literally at Russell's event. I gave one person one play that, we'll go run her a bag up. I'm like, we ain't even sit down yet. That's just one little
taste
that you can just instantly go put into your ecosystem.
Yeah,
it's the hors d'oeuvre. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that people just double down right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah.
Well, man, it's always good hanging out with you, man.
My God,
always
good episode, bro.
Picking your brain. Yeah. Hey, if people want to get with you, where do they go?
Mastermindwithnd.com. So if you're interested in partnerships, I think, or it's partnerwithnd.com.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not in Mastermind. You just told me that.
Partnerwithnd.com is our website that will allow you to get on a call with our team. We buy in businesses that make sense for us. We're partnering with businesses that are in our niche. And just on social, Neo Daviso, Neodaviso, and YouTube, Nehemiah Davis. We got all things.
What is Daviso?
Content.
It's just a cool name or what?
No, so in college, and we'll end with this, right? In college, I started a clothing line.
Okay.
And she said, we need to name it Neo Daviso. Let's add it. She called me
Italian.
Neo. Yeah, make it special. And I've been trying, I bought Neo on Instagram. But I didn't do double factor. So the dude who bought it took it back from me and blocked me, bro. I bought it for like $1,000, 3-letter Neo. And I didn't do the 2 authentic, whatever.
And he just hacked you.
And hacked me back.
That was bad.
So more of the story is I came up with that.
By the way, have 2-factor, guys.
Yeah, have 2-factor. So I've been trying to change my name. So if somebody could get me Nehemiah, I'm trying to find this guy. I think he blocked me too, because every day I said, bro, let me get that username, bro.
Just outbound.
Yeah. But that's how you guys can find me, bro. And I wish you the best with everything, bro. Thank you for
Appreciate you guys. Make sure you do that and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Let's get it.
Good job.
Good. Bro, I haven't did it 90 minutes.